Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex, coming to you from a hotel room in Virginia. I actually have a quite nice view of the fall foliage out my window right now. Sorry this video is coming a little bit late. I've been on the road for the entire month of November, and so I'm squeezing it in now. So this is my monthly video on the best games coming to retail, the best board games coming to retail. So I do this video every month. I bring you information straight from the publishers on what's releasing each month, and I always try to include a lot of different types of games in the video. We're gonna have some heavy games, some party games, some family games, and hopefully a lot of stuff in between, so you can find something that appeals to you, that's right for you. I will be at PAX Unplugged, the board game convention PAX Unplugged, this upcoming weekend in Philadelphia. So if you are there, please say hello to me. If you want a specific place to say hello to me instead of just waving in the hall, I will be in the Left Justified studio booth every morning from 10 a.m. to 12:30. So I'll be signing copies of my game. I'm kind of a big deal. I'll be in there if you just want to say, hey, no need to get a game. I mean, I would love for you to get one, but that's not the reason. Just say hello. I like saying hello to people. So I hope to see you in Philadelphia. Let's get into all of the games. I got 26 great new games for you here in the month of November. As always, I do this in alphabetical order of the publisher. First up here in November, 25th Century Games is releasing the game Kabuki Tricks. This plays 2 to 5 players in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight card game. This is a smaller box trick-taking card game. And, there's been a lot of trick-taking games recently, but they each kind of try to find a twist on the genre. They try to do something new. So what's different about this trick-taking game? Well, one, the dealer will be leading every trick, but they can set the rank of the suit. There are 4 suits in the game, and when the dealer, deals out the hand, they can set how the suit is going to, which one is the high suit, which one's the low suit. There's also a card that can be flipped so that the high suit wins, the high card wins, or the low card wins. The other thing that's different is that each player has a joker card. And so it's a must-follow trick-taking game where you need to follow the suit that was led, but once per round, you can play your joker card, and that allows you to swap the location of 2 of the suits to change which suit is going to be the most powerful and which suit is going to be the weakest. It will allow you to bid for the number of tricks you think you're going to win. So, while the dealer gets to set things initially, everybody else can mess that up and switch it around. So, it's a quick card game for sure, but there's a lot of intrigue about how things are going to switch mid-round and how you're going to play out the cards in your hands. So, if you like trick-taking games, or you like games that have sort of, twists on classic mechanisms, then Kabuki Tricks might be for you. Ares Games is releasing Tedoku. Talk about twists on sort of popular mechanisms. Tedoku plays 1 to 99 players in about 10 minutes, and it's a lightweight game, and it is a Sudoku style flip and write game, a roll and write game. It actually combines the two, because you will be flipping a card and rolling a die every round, and the die will tell you the shape that you have to draw on your sheet, and the card will tell you sort of the grid point that you have to draw on your sheet, where you have to draw that shape. And so, if you flip the card 9, I need to draw this shape in column 9, and then I roll the die, and it gives me an L. And so some part of that L has to be in column 9. And then you're just trying to puzzle out how you are placing these shapes on your player sheet, and ultimately you're going to gain points for filling in rows and columns, and you're also gaining points for filling in 9x9 sections. That's where the sort of Sudoku style comes in, of how you can fill in these 9x9s. You know, there's a number of 9x9s on your sheet, and you got to try to fill them in order to get points. And it's quick, and you know, it's puzzly, and the reason it plays 99 players, right, is because it's just limited by the player sheets that you have, and you could hand those sheets out to a lot of people and play one massive game of Tedoku if you want to. Asmodee, in association with Pika Games, is releasing a Wild Venture. This plays 1 to 2 players in 40 to 60 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. This is sort of a cozy yet fiercely competitive game. You know, I think it's really meant for 2 players. That's, you know, where there is a solo mode to the game, but it was specifically designed to be a 2-player only game where you are kind of battling the other player. You're doing it, though, by building up your engine and then tearing down your engine. That is the unique aspect of a Wild Venture. On your turn, you can play cards down into your tableau. You're building out your tableau with characters and gear and other types of cards. And when you play a card down, it comes in with a certain number of resources on it. The card will indicate how many resources it has on it. And then another action on your turn, that turn or future turns, is to get rid of one of those resources on a card to then activate the card to take the power, the ability of that card. However, when a card no longer has resources on it, it leaves your tableau. It goes face down into a scoring pile. So there's the tension of, when do I activate this special ability? Also, when it's in your tableau, it doesn't score you any points. So do I want to go get the points right now, or do I want to save this ability for a time that it really matters? And so, you know, it's finding combinations between the cards and synergies. You want to play things that are synergistic together that get you the right combos of special abilities. And then you will be moving up on these various paths, these sort of, you're adventuring. The world has already been discovered, but you're moving along these paths, and then you get bonuses and benefits along the way, but you have to decide, am I going on the short path, the medium path, the long path? So yeah, if you like tactical duels, then you might like a Wild Venture. Asmodee, in association with Titan Forge Games, is releasing Eve: War for New Eden. This plays 2 to 4 players in 90 to 180 minutes, and it is a heavyweight game. This might be our only real heavyweight game this month. This is based on the online game, Eve. If you've ever played that, then that might be a reason that you check this out. But it is a 4X game, meaning you're going to be exploring, you're going to be exploiting, you're going to be getting into conflict. There is a bunch of face-down tiles, and you will be moving your spaceships across the board and revealing tiles as you go. So there's the exploration where the sort of universe is getting your knowledge of the universe is getting expanded as you explore. But you'll also be fighting other players in the game. You'll be trading with them. You know, there's certainly some Twilight Imperium sort of feel to this game. You're going to be using diplomacy, deception, and direct warfare to engage your rivals in a grand game of cosmic chess. So if you like, space-themed games, if you like some, diplomacy and negotiation in your games, if you like, just kind of epic-feeling games, or if you like the IP Eve: War for New Eden, then that might be a reason to check this one out. They are also launching this with a number of expansions and things like that right now. I do a monthly video on the best expansions coming to retail, and I'll get into all the expansions for this game right now, but there's a lot of content for Eve: War for New Eden. So if you're someone that likes, a completionist that likes That's a lot of stuff for a game. There is certainly a lot of stuff to be had for Eve War for New Eden. Blue Orange Games, in association with Yellow, is releasing the game Popcorn. This plays 2 to 4 players in about 60 minutes, and it is a medium weight game, though maybe on the lower end of medium weight game. You are trying to pair the right movies with the right guests to keep them happy and score popcorn. Popcorn is your points in the game, which is kind of fun. I mean, the production value of this one does look very good. Each player has a movie theater, and one of the funny things is each of our movie theaters are showing different movies. This is a wild community where there's a lot of movies and a lot of people going to movies and nobody wants to show the same thing. And so you are playing these movie cards into your movie theaters, and then there's a shared bag where you're pulling out meeples from the shared bag and various colors of meeples you want to assign to different movies and different seats and different, places in your board to get you to maximize the benefits and the points that you are going to get, And so there is obviously random drawing from the bag to see what sort of meeples come out that round, and if you place guests in the right seats, you can activate special powers. You want to match them with the right movies, you get a movie bonus as well, thanks to their enthusiasm for your good taste. Hey, you did a great job, curating the right movies here. So if you're a big fan of movies, that might be a reason to check this one out. You do have a little popcorn container, and you get to throw these little popcorns in there when you earn points, and that's kind of fun too. I like the production value of that. Capstone Games is releasing the game Forestry. This plays 1 to 4 players in 70 to 120 minutes, and it is probably a medium plus weight game. That is what I would call it, a medium plus weight game. This is very much a Euro game, so if you're a fan of Euros, then Forestry might be for you. You are playing as forest stewards who are trying to balance resource harvesting with sustainability. So you actually have 2 workers. There's a dual worker system in the game, and one of the workers is a harvester, and the harvester will be moving around the forest, felling trees to meet contract demands. So there's a contract fulfillment aspect of the game. The harvester will also be sort of replanting saplings, constructing infrastructure, adjusting water retention to promote a healthy ecosystem, whereas your other worker is the manager, and they will be overseeing resource collection, utilizing sawmill buildings, fulfilling contract, optimizing wood processing. So those different workers can kind of go to different places and do different things on the board, which is, part of the fun of the game, obviously. I also, do like this theme, right? It's all about sustainable forestry. How can we, get the resources we need, but doing it in a responsible way that leaves forest for the next generation and keeps it sustainable. They say you have to balance the demands of harvesting resources with the need for environmental conservation. Every action taken has a lasting impact on the forest's health, and players are encouraged to make responsible choices, from planting new trees to adjusting water streams for optimal moisture retention. So again, if you like Euro games, if you like that theme, that is certainly one of the reasons to check out Forestry. And I feel like Capstone has been pretty good at these sort of medium to medium plus weight games, right? That's kind of the wheelhouse that they live in mostly, I think. Though, if you want a different style of thing from Capstone, they are also releasing the game Rowdy Partners this month. This plays 2 to 4 players in 30 to 60 minutes, and it is sort of on that edge of lightweight to medium weight game for sure. Rowdy Partners is thematically, I really enjoy the game. This is one I have played a number of times. You are sort of You're wrestlers, you're a tag team wrestling team. Though it plays 2 to 4 players, I think it's really best at 4, because then you're playing on a team of 2 against another team of 2. And it's fun like that because you get to literally tap your partner in. You are wrestlers that are in the ring, and then you tap your partner in and they jump in the ring, and you're trying to do damage to the other team. At its core, it is a trick-taking game. You are playing cards and trying to win tricks, but you win the tricks in this game by being the lowest card, and then whatever card you play to be the lowest, if you win the trick, you do that amount of damage to the other team. So if I win with a 2, yeah, that's all right. But I win with a 5, I'm doing 5 damage to you. That's really good. And then, you know, you're moving up this pop track, and you're going to gain benefits along the way. Benefits like tokens that will change the value of your card. Tag in tokens where you can tag your teammate in. It just, you know, this is a trick-taking game for sure, and it's one that I've liked a lot recently because of the theme. You know, I think the theme is silly and fun, and, you know, that's what kind of, to me, sets it apart from other trick-taking games right now. It also feels a little bit bigger than a trick-taking game in the sense that, like, there is a board, there is tracks you're moving up, there are tokens that you're getting, so it's not just cards. Like, yes, it is a trick-taking game at the, you know, at the core of it, but there feels like there's a lot of other stuff going on. The, like, winning tricks and tagging in and out of the ring, there's also these tokens that sort of switch around 180 and move up and down, and that system's really cool and fun as well. So if you like that theme, if you want to, you know, if you want a sort of a trick-taking game that has a board game feel to it, not just a card game feel to it, then Rowdy Partners is a good one for you. DeVere Games is releasing the game Rudolph. This plays 2 to 6 players in 15 to 20 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. This is a family weight card game. They say can play ages 8 and up. I've also had a chance to play Rudolph. If you don't know about me, I am a huge Christmas nerd. I love everything Christmas, and so I will play any Christmas game out there to try it. I will try any Christmas game. And for a small card game, I like Rudolph a lot. This is one that I'm going to bring back around for Christmas. There is a slight real-time element to the game, and I know that makes a lot of gamers nervous, but it doesn't really, you know, make or break the game. You will have 10 cards in your deck, and everybody that's playing will reveal a card at the same time. And then you can grab any card that's been played. That is the only real-time aspect of the game, where we're all flipping out a card and then assessing what's there and going, I want this one, I want this, you know, and so if you are last in that grab, you will only have the choice between 2 cards. When you take the card, you are just going to be making a tableau in front of you, and that tableau is sort of, you're building your sleigh to the left, and you are building up reindeer on the right. The sleigh cards, every card is sort of dual use. It can either be a sleigh or reindeer. And the sleigh, if you play them on the sleigh side of your tableau, you'll be giving yourself a new scoring condition. If you play it to the right side of your tableau, the reindeer side of your tableau, you will be getting reindeer. You will be connecting and forming groups of reindeer and colors of reindeer that will satisfy your scoring condition. And, you know, it really does play in 10 minutes just because it's, you know, it's 10 rounds, it's quick, you're making decisions, and you're building up your tableau. So, like, this is a perfect filler type of game for the holiday season, I think. So, you know, assemble the best team of reindeer to help Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. Next up, we have Micro Hero Hercules. This plays 1 to 2 players in 20 to 240 minutes. It is a medium weight game, and it's coming from the distributor Hachette. I say it is 20 to 240 minutes because you will be working your way through the 12 labors. You will be fighting the 12 different labors that Hercules had to face in mythology. You're going to fight through those things. And so maybe fighting one of them is going to take 10 to 20 minutes, but playing through the whole thing is going to take more like 240 minutes sometimes. It is a 1 to 2 player game. BGG does recommend it best at 1. So this is, a solo game, but you can make decisions with somebody else and play it cooperatively if you want to. It's a deck building game where you are literally building your deck with cards, and then hopefully, and you're also upgrading cards. Cards have sort of two sides of them, and whatever's at the bottom, that's what you're playing, but you can upgrade the card and now you get a better ability from that card. So it's not only like deck building in that you're going to a market and buying cards to add to your deck, you can also improve the cards in your deck as well. So, if you and as the labors of Hercules did in the actual mythology, they escalate in difficulty as you're going through the game. So you need to improve your deck and your as you go for sure. So if you like deck building, if you like little solo puzzle challenges, there is an element where you're playing cards down on top of cards, and you're sort of building this column of cards that you can do damage and fight the 12 labors with. So that's kind of cool. It is a small box game as well. So, if you want just a solo game that you can throw in a pocket or a bag or something like that and take with you, then Micro Hero Hercules might be for you. Horrible Guild is releasing a series of games called My Murder Mystery. Right now they're launching with 2 of them. There is My Murder Mystery, A Dead Monkey, and My Murder Mystery, The Final Protocol. They are similar in their structure, but they're different in their theme. So just pick whichever theme you want. But they both play 5 to 7 players in 120 minutes, and they're a lighter weight game. And the reason they play that many players is this is essentially a murder mystery in a smaller box. This is meant to be kind of murder mystery dinner theater, but you can just do it at home yourself. And you're trying to solve different, you're trying to put together clues and solve the mystery, but you play as a character. Each person has a role in the game. So this, the Dead Monkey one, I'll talk about, My Murder Mystery, A Dead Monkey. This one is a crime boss put together a heist. You were part of the team that was on the heist, and the heist was successful, but now you're back at the house, and oh my God, the lights cut out and somebody got murdered. And now you need to figure out what happened. So, you have secrets that you're trying to keep hidden. You are trying to also uncover clues about other players. And so, if you want that sort of murder mystery dinner party feel, this is a game that will curate that for you. Thematically, the other one is My Murder Mystery, The Final Protocol. It takes place in Silicon Valley in the year 2047. The visionary founder of the world's largest tech corporation has invited a select group of guests to her high-tech residence for an exclusive party, and then, bad stuff happens and you're trying to figure it out while you also, keep suspicion off of yourself. So, yeah, if you want a little role playing, if you're interested in that, then My Murder Mystery might be for you. Ivy Studio is releasing a number of games this month, actually. The first of which I'll talk about is Tend. This plays 1 to 6 players in 60 to 90 minutes, though when I've played it, it has often taken 2 hours, so I'll note that. And it is a medium plus weight game. Tend is a flip and write game, but it's one of these new types of flip and write games where there's a lot going on, there's a lot of paths to victory, and it's actually fairly complex. Think sort of Hadrian's Wall type of game where Tend, there's just a lot of paths to victory. You can farm crops. You're going to put crops in a pen area, and then you're going to tick them up, and then you're going to get resources from those crops. You are going to put animals in pens. You are going to go fishing. You're going to go mining. You're going to go chopping wood. All of these things are going to get you resources that you're going to spend. You can put resources in your cargo manifest to score you points. You can also use resources to get upgrades. I can make my chopping action way more powerful. I can do more fishing, you know. There's just a lot of, like, this is a game where I feel like you will do 1/3 of the things in the game, and so that, you know, means there's a lot of replayability. You can, the next time you play, you can go, I'm going to go heavier into farming crops, or I'm going to go heavier into fishing this time and see how that works for me. You know, IV does really good production value for sure, so there is, you know, fun, you know, you can get a more retail version of the game with colored pencils. You can also get sort of a deluxe upgraded version of the game. Also, you know, there are versions of that available in retail too, where you have these stamping pens where you stamp your cargo manifest with stuff. Yeah, you know, it's sort of set in the same, it's set in this kind of comedic universe where there's this Zenith Corporation, and you're doing Zenith Corporation's bidding, and they're definitely not an evil corporation. They're for sure not, right? Don't you tell anybody they're an evil corporation. But the game is not that comedic. This is a fairly big strategic roll and write game. The other thing that kind of set this one apart from other ones is there's scratch off cards in the game. There's literally an element of the game where you are mining and you're moving down this field, or you are chopping and you're moving down that, and you're literally moving paths, and you can cross off, you can scratch off stuff with a coin that you have, and you scratch off stuff to get a resource. So you don't know what resource you're going to get and how you're going to use it, but it is pretty fun to scratch off stuff. I haven't seen scratch offs as a mechanism in, you know, a medium weight game before. So that's one of the reasons to check it out as well. IV Studio is also releasing 3 small box games to retail. You know, I think IV is mostly known for their bigger box games. They have really high production value games like Tend or Veiled Fate or Moonrakers, things like that, all have sort of bigger boxes and bigger production values. So this is they did a game called Moon Rollers, a small box game. This is their sort of first series of small box games. They're releasing 3 of them at the same time. The first of which I'll talk about is Time to Panic. This plays 1 to 4 players in about 40 minutes, and it is, you know, on the edge of lightweight to medium weight game. I'm trying to think about, you know, which one of these. I've played all 3 of these small box games, and Time to Panic might be my favorite one because I love the theme of it. It is a cooperative game where we are sort of time agents, and the timeline keeps getting broken and interrupted, and we are trying to fix the timeline. I love time travel stuff, and so there is this sort of fun, and yes, it is an abstract game, but that's in the back of my mind while I'm playing it, so I don't know, I just feel cool, like, ooh, we gotta fix this timeline over here. The way it mechanically works is you're gonna be playing cards out, and you want, by the end of the game, for your cards to be in sequential order. And you don't have to have every card there, but they have to go in ascending order or descending order in the sort of timeline row that you're playing out. But there are constantly cards that are messing up what you're doing. There are cards that are swapping other cards or eliminating cards or things like that. So you're literally just kind of having to constantly solve problems and constantly fix the timeline. You do that because you do that by playing cards that have special abilities on them. There's a limited number of abilities, but it's like, ooh, you play this one. This has a swap. I can swap the location of 2 other cards. Ooh, I have a delete. I can burn this card out of the row to, you know, to hopefully put other cards closer together. And you're just managing your actions and constantly trying to fix the timeline. You know, there is a loop where you're like, they keep messing it up. We're looking great right now on and then 3 turns later, we're not looking great anymore and we got to fix it. And so, but I think the theme is fun, and I think it is a good cooperative game. I've played it at 2 players, I've played it at 4 players, and it works sort of either player count. So if you want a smaller box cooperative game, Time to Panic is a good one. Ivy Studio is also releasing the game Graft. This plays 3 to 5 players in about 40 minutes and is also on that sort of edge of lightweight to medium weight game. This is set in the same universe as Tend, has the same art style, has the same theme, but a different game. This is a much smaller, quicker card game. Graft is a sort of pass and draft card game. You will be passing cards, drafting cards, and then playing them into your tableau. There's a big push your luck element to the game because when you play cards down, they're going to get you various scoring abilities, but they're also going to get you restrictions in that, like, okay, if I put this pink card down, it is telling me I can't play any blue cards in the row after this pink card. And so if I keep going, if I pass more cards and draft, what if I get a hand that is only blue cards? I bust, I score none of the points for the cards in my row. So it's like, do I want to score this row right now that I've created, or do I want to try to get more points or try to meet conditions, scoring conditions on the card? I'm like, I need one more card to hit that 5-point scoring condition right there. I'm going to push my luck. I really like the push your luck aspect of the game. And, this sort of tableau building is interesting as well. It is, the way you score your tableau is maybe a little unintuitive at first. You have to sort of place this card down, then pick this card up, then place one more down into your tableau. So you need to have the amount of cards to do that, and only then do you get to draw new cards into your hand for the passing and picking aspect of the game. So I wish that was maybe a little clearer, but the push your luck aspect, I haven't seen like a drafting push your luck game like this before, and so I like that aspect of it. The last of the sort of small box games that Ivy Studio is doing is a game called Pillars of Fate. This is set in the Veiled Fate universe, but it is a separate game. It plays 2 players only in about 30 to 45 minutes, and it's on the edge of lightweight to medium weight game. Pillars of Fate is a lane battle game where I am fighting my opponent for control of different lanes out on the, in the play area, and I'm doing it by playing cards. The thing that makes this unique and makes it cool and interesting and different than other lane battle games is I am fighting not just for control of the lane by the powers of the cards that I put down, I'm also fighting for the suit of the lane. So oftentimes in the middle of the play area, what the thing we are fighting over, the thing that is setting the lane, has 2 suits on it, and whatever suit gets played more, that condition of the card is going to take effect. And sometimes that's like positive points and negative points. For instance, like we're battling over this lane, and if it is feathers, it's going to get the winner 5 points. But if it's scorpions, it's going to get the winner -2 points. So I can see that you're putting like high feathers down, or I'm going to put down high scorpions and try to switch it, and then you're going to win it and get negative points. I can try to force that in the game, and it feels, there's sort of multiple things to think about then, where I'm not just trying to play down high value cards, I'm also trying to influence the suit that I need it to be on that lane. You also get these, I think they're called God cards, but those are like really powerful cards you get to play once per round, and they get to sort of change the rules, or you feel very clever when you play those in the right way, in the right, time sort of thing. So yeah, it's just, if you want intriguing game, you know, because you can play some cards face down, you can play some cards face up. It's a game where for 40 minutes you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Oh, I'm trying to get inside your head, you know? It's been one of my favorite two-player games of the year for sure. So if you're looking for a, you know, highly, you know, tactical, strategic two-player game, then check out Pillars of Fate. Love More Games is releasing the game Stable Times. This plays 1 to 5 players in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lighter weight card game. You are playing as horse trainers trying to organize their horses best in their stable. You are going to be drawing cards from this sort of meadow board area and then playing cards down into your stable. Your stable has 4 slots and you need the same type of horse in each slot. But all these horses are going to have different scoring conditions. So maybe you need to play this one here because it scores by being next to these 2 types. And then you need, you know, and so you're trying to puzzle out where you are playing your horses in your stable. And so, you know, you can always draw a random horse from the deck too, but you will have to place 2 horses from your hand into your stable each turn. And so remember, each stable has to have the same type of horse in it. So that's where sort of some of the restrictions and some of the interesting stuff happens in the game. And then once each player has filled up 3 aisles of their stable, the game ends and you count up your points, and every horse scores you points in different games. I mean, in different ways. The other thing that's interesting is all the horses in the game are real life horses. People got to send in their horses, and even the cards have flavor text from the owners of those horses describing a little bit about that horse. You know, oh, this horse is very silly and playful and loves to romp around in the field or whatever it might be. And so there's this coziness, this sort of personality in the game that might not otherwise be there. So if you're a fan of horses, then check out Stable Times. Mighty Boards is releasing 2 games to retail this month. Pinched plays 2 to 5 players in 45 to 60 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. I will say, you know, Pinched, I've played a number of times. I brought it to a gaming retreat with me, got it to the table multiple times. Everybody had a great time. But just to note, Pinched is sort of a party game in disguise. Like, it feels like more than a party game. There's a bunch of boards and cards and things like that. But really, it's kind of a beer and pretzels game. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I really like it. But like, Pinch to me is a game where you don't have a ton of control over what happens in the game, but it is perfect for trash talking. If you want a trash talking game and stuff like that, I love Pinched for that. The way the game works, it is a set collection game where you are trying to get cards of the same type to score those, and the more you get of that type, the more points you're going to score. But there are all these different location boards. Every round, one player plays as the mastermind, and they are going to choose one location to go to. You don't know where they are going, and in fact, you want to go to the same place as them, because if the mastermind goes to a location by themselves, they get every card there, and you don't want that. That's putting you behind the 8 ball. But if you show up at the same location the mastermind is at, they get only 2 cards there, and you also get a card from there. And so you're constantly trying to predict where someone's going. You're constantly lying to each other. The other fun thing is each of the locations has sort of a different ability, and that is fun as well. Like, if you go to one location by yourself, you get this painting, the Lisa Mona, that's worth more points. But if you go to this other location, there's a secret passageway, and you can go through the secret passageway and grab one good by its, from a different board. Or if you go to this other one, you get this dog companion, which gets you more cards in a future turn. All of that sort of stuff. So it's not just what the cards are there, it's also like which special abilities do you want to activate? Where do you want to go alone? You're trying to convince other people you're going to one location when in fact you're going to another and stuff. It's just, it's full of that sort of like silly big table moments where you're like, you went there? No, I thought you were going over here. I feel like every time I play it, there's constantly like those big reactions and like trash talking and stuff. So I like it for that reason. And there is, it's sort of a party game with some like components and strategy. Like there is some choices and rules and things to know. It's not just like, a straight, like easy teach it to anybody party game. It's just maybe a social game is a better description of it. It's like not a party game, it's a social game. It's a very social game, and I like that about it. Mighty Boards is also releasing the game Red North. This plays 2 to 4 players in 25 to 45 minutes, and it is on that edge of lightweight to medium weight game. In Red North, there are outposts that you are trying to conquer. You are playing raiding parties to try to get control of various outposts. If you do win an outpost, it is getting both points for you and also a special ability. Each outpost comes with a different special ability. One breaks ties, one gets you extra cards, one gets you extra power on cards. And so it is another game of a lot of intrigue where you're like, okay, how do I think they might be going for this color. Do I want to beat them for that color by playing cards of the same color and adding up to more? Or do I want to go for a different thing? There's constantly thinking about where other people are going and what they're going for. So in that way, Red North is, similar to Pinched, but this is a more strategic game. This is a more thoughtful game, less of a trash-talking social game, and more of like, I need to figure out how I'm going to, play my raiding party. And then you get some special abilities. If I play another card if I turn one card face up, so I should mention that too. When you play a raiding party, every card is face down, so nobody knows exactly what you're doing. But if I turn a card face up, I can play another card into my raiding party. So I'm giving you some information, but I'm also getting more cards out there and making myself stronger. And so, yeah, it's cool. It's it's like a 30-minute game. If you want like a small box, 30-minute, but like still very thinky strategic game, then I recommend Red North. I've had a good time. I've probably played it 3 or 4 times in the last week. And it is a fairly small box, so it's an easy game to bring anywhere with you. So yeah, check out Red North. Oink Games is releasing a few games to retail this month. First up, we have Petiquette. Plays 2 to 6 players in about 20 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. Petiquette is kind of a party game. You will be placing cards up into a row, and there's no inherent sequence of the cards. There's no pattern, but there is one card that is face down. You are choosing a card from your hand to play into that face down spot that you think makes the most beautiful pattern. So each card has a number, a animal on it, and a color of top hat that is on it. And so, if it was like a 2-2, a 4, a blank, a 6, a 6, well, you might play a 4 there because then it's 2-2, 4-4, 6-6. But what if it's sort of dog, cat, dog, and then, okay, over here I want to do another dog, sort of thing. So you're just kind of trying to figure out what might be the best card to play into the empty spot to make the pattern complete. Other people are going to be making the same decision, and then you score points based on other people playing the same thing as you. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's a blue dog right there. That is I agree, So you get to sort of feel good, and you're like, why did you think that? Oh, because of this, and you talk about it. The other thing that's interesting about it is the cards in your hand will have animals and hat colors, but you get to assign the number to it. You have these other things, so you're literally sort of building the card. You're tucking this number into it and sort of building a card that you are then playing and just trying to complete the pattern. And so, another social game where you're just you're trying to get points based on what other people are playing too. I'm sure some people wouldn't like it because it's a little abstract, right? There's no specific rules. It's like, well, why is your pattern better than my pattern? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just more people thought it was, that sort of thing. But it sounds fun to me. Another one that sounds fun to me from Oink Games is Wriggle Roulette. This plays 2 to 8 players in 20 minutes, and it is a lightweight party game. This is a pretty pure push your luck game. You are reaching into a bag, and there are a lot of these little squiggly pieces that are either eels or snakes. And you want eels, but you don't want snakes. And so everybody is sort of reaching into the bag and then drawing between 0 and 4 things from the bag. And then we all reveal what we have if, based on player count, if the group has drawn enough snakes, we all bust. But if not, then we all get to reach back into the bag again and grab stuff. The interesting twist of the game, though, is when the sort of pool of snakes gets too high, it doesn't bust the entire group. It busts the person that has drawn the most things out of the bag. Even if you drew no snakes, and still the group busted, we drew enough snakes as a group, but I didn't draw any specific. If I'm the one that have drawn the most stuff out of the bag, I've been greedy and I get punished. I'm the one that like busts in that round. So there's this fun sort of group dynamic to the game. It's very simple, it's very light. It's very, they say plays ages 6 and up. So, but it's, I always think reaching into a bag and grabbing unknown stuff is fun. There's always this tension of, I hope I get what I need right here. So yeah, if you like push your luck games, then check out Wriggle Roulette. Oink Games is also releasing Pick and Packers. This plays 3 to 6 players in about 20 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. This is a dexterity game, so you have to like dexterity games. 2 players are basically picking up a drone with a bunch of presents stacked on top of that drone, and you are trying to deliver those presents, move the drone to some other place without toppling the whole stack of stuff that's on top of it. The twist, the difference here is that each player can only have one finger on it. So, I have a finger on it and you have a finger on it, and we're trying to move together and have the same amount of pressure on the drone so that we don't drop all of the stuff on it. So, it requires teamwork and precision and stuff. The other players aren't just watching while this is happening, they are guessing how far they think the drone will make it. So, if you have guessed that it's going to go pretty far, you're cheering them on. If you have guessed that it's not going to make far, you're like booing them and hoping they drop it, So there's a big social aspect to Pick and Packers as well. Pandasaurus Games is releasing the game Tricky Kids. Plays 2 to 6 players in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. This is a trick-taking card game. Classic sort of must follow, highest card wins the trick. The twist of Tricky Kids is that you have dry erase pens, and all of the cards have dry erase spots on them. They're like dry erase cards. You get a hand of cards that is different types of suits, but none of them have any numbers on them, and you have to write numbers on your cards. You are setting the value of the cards in your hand, and the value has to add up to 21. And so you could do, a bunch of 3s if you want. You have 7 cards in your hand, so you could do all 3s if you want. Or you could do a 15 and a 5 and then a 1 and then a bunch of zeros. It doesn't matter how you do it. You just have to have all of the numbers add up to 21. So it's like, and then the other interesting aspect of the game is there are these scoring tiles out in the play area. And when you win a trick with a certain suit, you take the leftmost scoring tile, and then it'll say on there, like, if you won with blue, you get 2 points. If you won with pink, you get 5 points. If you won with yellow, you get 0 points. So it's also a timing thing about when you play your cards and when you try to win tricks with that stuff. So it is a very clever trick-taking game. I feel like people keep finding these cool, different, unique ways to do trick-taking, and this is one I got a chance to play at a retreat I was at last weekend, and I'm itching to play it again. I honestly think the worst aspect of the game is the sort of theme, and the name Tricky Kids makes you think it's a kid's game, and it's not a kid's game. Sure, it's like a family weight trick-taking game, but they say it plays ages 12 and up, so it's like, you know, it's not for young kids. It's way more thinky than young kids, and I feel like some people are gonna see that box and ignore it because they go, oh, this is just a kid's game, and it's not. It's a very clever trick-taking game. So if you're a fan of trick-taking or card games, this is a cool, unique twist on it for sure. Pandasaurus Games is also releasing the game Beasts. This plays 2 to 5 players in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. This is a cooperative card game, and this is another game that feels pretty unique and different in the world of card games. You are playing cards from your hand. There are 3 spots, and everybody is playing cards into those 3 spots, and you are constantly having to escalate the number. You want to make the number higher. And so if there's nothing in the first 2 spots and someone plays a 5, well, literally that's what the group has. We have a 5. And then someone plays an 8, and then somebody, the next player, doesn't have a 9, so they have to play into the next spot. They play a 1 in the next spot, and so now instead of an 8, we've got an 18. You know, and then later someone's going to play a card into the 3rd spot, and now we have 118. And so we are trying to play cards out there. We need to get rid of all of the cards in the deck out onto these places, and so we need to, you know, if at some point somebody can't play, we lose the game. So we are trying to manage how we are playing cards out. There are also these beasts in the deck. They come along and they basically make it so you cannot play certain suits in certain columns. A beast will come out here and go, you can't play hearts in this first row, and now that makes it so much harder that we can't play hearts there, because what if I have a bunch of hearts in my hand? I'm gonna have to jump the number up way higher than I want to right now because I gotta play in this other thing. When you play in those 2 higher spots, you can get rid of the cards in the lower spots, which is also an interesting thing you need to time out, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna play this and turn it to 120 right here by playing a 20 right here, and then I can play a boom, boom, boom. I can play other cards from my hand. You have to play all of the cards in your hand that are 1 suit. So if you've got 4 cards of the same suit in your hand at one time, you have to play all of them in a single turn. And so, you know, it's a cool, interesting, unique, cooperative game. I like Beasts. I've had a chance to play it a couple of times. Pink Tiger Games is releasing the game Pet Names, a Game of Endearments. This plays 2 to 7 players in 15 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight game. It also comes in a fox plushie, so that is, I mean, it's a very adorable game all around, and you know, the little fox bag is very cute and stuff. I got a chance to play a prototype of this earlier this year, and it is a game full of inside moments and jokes and memories and things like that. You are using cards from your hand to build a pet name for one player who is the active player that round. And then the active player gets to listen to all of these pet names that people have created for them and pick their favorite one. And maybe you're gonna do something that's sweet. Maybe you're gonna do something that's funny. Maybe you're gonna do something that's super true, and they get to pick whichever one they want. But it's almost not really a game about that. It's a game about the like stories and the moments that you're gonna create together, you know, where someone's like, I made you this pet name because of this reason. And you're like, oh, that's really nice of you to say. Oh, I do think about that. I do think myself as that. And so, like, I think this is a really good game to play at the holidays, you know, if you're trying to, like, it really creates nice moments where, like, it's like a feel-good game, you know, where you're like, man, yeah, this is, oh, that's so nice of you to say about me. And it's like the card gives you, the cards give you permission to say nice things about your family and friends. And so, you know, if you want a reason to compliment people, I feel like this is sort of a silly, fun way to do that. So yeah, I don't know. Pet Names is a game that I feel like is really good for the stories that it creates and the memories that it creates, not just the gameplay of it. West Coast Games is releasing the game Fruit Boss. plays 2 to 4 players in 20 to 30 minutes, and it is a lightweight card game. This is a small box card game, and I feel like West Coast has done some really clever games. I think of them as making clever games. I really like their game Desperate Oasis that came out earlier. And in Fruit Boss, you are collecting fruits. It's a set collection game, but you're going to be playing cards into columns, and you need to sort of create higher values in a column next to another column to then take the cards in that column. So it's about how you are playing stuff out into the card area and how you're gaining fruit to add to your set collection. So, you know, it's you have to pay into market stalls to snatch neighboring stacks, but every move opens a door for your opponent. So it is like, you know, for like a 20-minute game, it's a pretty clever game of how you're playing out fruit and how you're gaining cards to add to your sets. So yeah, if you like small box card games, check out Fruit Boss. Wise Wizard Games, under their sort of wacky wizard brand, is releasing the game Says Moo. 2 to 8 players, 15 to 20 minutes, and this is a lightweight party game. This is a break your brain party game a little bit. Everybody is going to have a stack of cards, and they're going to flip up one card. So there are going to be a number of cards out in the playing area. And you are looking for matches between either the art on the card or the words on the card. And so if something says, if you see a match between the art of the card, you want to say the phrase that the animal would say. So if you see 2 frogs on a card somewhere out here, then you're gonna say ribbit, right? That's the sound a frog makes, and then you're going to gain those cards, and those go into your point pile. However, if you see 2 of the same words out there, you need to say the animal that makes those. So if you see moo moo written on the cards, if you say cow, then you are going to get those cards. And you are constantly making mistakes, right? You see moo moo and you're like moo, and you're like, no, it's cow. Or you see 2 frogs and you're like, frog, that's a frog. And you're like, oh no, I was supposed to say ribbit. It just constantly you're like, oh man, I'm trying to wrap my head around. That's sort of the silliness, that's the fun of the game, right? Is that people will constantly be messing up and laughing, and it's very simple, but it is very silly and funny. And I feel like most people are bad at it, and that's okay, because that's some of the fun of the game. Wise Wizard Games is also releasing Seeker Chronicles. This is a 2-player only game, plays in 20 to 40 minutes, and it is a medium weight game. This is a game where we are battling an opponent, but thematically it feels very different than other sort of battle opponent games, because you are playing sort of as scientists seeking information. You are an elite scientist leading a team of seekers in a high-stakes competition to achieve new scientific breakthroughs. So, that makes it, we're not just like dwarves or wizards fighting each other. We're scientists actually trying to learn about the universe and gain knowledge. And so, in practicality, how you do that is you have these seeker cards, and you are going to attach cards underneath them, and those are going to get you special abilities. And you are basically just trying to burn through your deck of cards. Sometimes a special ability is like, oh, you get to discard 4 cards off of the top of your deck. Essentially, you are fighting another player, and if my seeker power is 10 and your seeker power is 5, well, the difference is 5, so I get to burn 5 cards off of my deck. And the first player to burn through their deck 3 times is going to win the game. So you're trying to play cards that combo well together, that allow you to churn through your deck, and then and beat your opponent. So it feels pretty different, I feel like, in the 2-player card game world. And it is a you want to play cards that combo well together, that get you special abilities that are going to help you beat your opponent and burn through your deck. And so, a thinky game in 30 minutes. So that is Seeker Chronicles. Those are 26 games coming to retail here in November. So thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, share, all that. If you haven't seen my channels in the past, in December, I'm going to start doing a lot of top 10 videos, and this is something I do every year where I kind of do like 10 different top 10 videos. I don't just do like my top 10 games of the year. I'll do like my top 10 party games of the year, my top 10 cooperative games of the year, my top 10 family games of the year, and it will all culminate in just my overall top 10 games of the year. And so I'll be putting those out in December. I've played about 300 new games that, sort of 2025 releases. I've played about 300 of them, so I'm going to be drawing from a lot of different games to make these top 10 lists, and I like doing it that way because it's like there's specific things you might be looking for. I want something I can play with my kids. I want something I can take to a party, and so I structure the videos in all that different ways. So those will be coming out sort of starting in December, so please check back. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex.